Basically, the concept behind a book I did a couple years ago called Excuses Be Gone.
Yes.
Which is, what I have a paradigm in there, and one of the questions in the paradigm is, what if you couldn't think the thoughts that you have that tell you that you can't do this, or this is impossible, or that you have to be poor, or that you can't get that job, or that you're infirm, or that you're weak, or that you're sick, and so on. What if you just couldn't think that thought? And it's interesting. Virtually everything in our life is mental. What kinds of thoughts do we think? It's like we become what we think about. And, most of the difficulties that we have, I think about people who out there who are overweight. And I think, what if you couldn't look in a mirror? And what if you couldn't step on a scale? And what if you couldn't think the thought, that I'm overweight, that I'm fat, that I'm unattractive, that I'm lazy, that whatever it is, all the things that are associated with that. Begin to look at and say to yourself, well, what if I couldn't think these thoughts, that I can't make things happen, that I can't manifest things? And the only thought that you could think of, with God, all things are possible, and I am connected to God. I am a piece of God. What if that was the only thing that you could think? And then begin to challenge yourself and just say, okay, then I'm going to not give myself permission or the right to think thoughts that don't work for me. Like she was talking about her son. It's like, what if he just absolutely could only think, I am well, I am content, I am happy. And that's why, so many people, when they go to the hospitals, they go to doctors and so on, and they have all of these tests that are run, and then they look at all of the numbers, and they look at all of the things, and they start to think about all of the things that are going to go wrong with their body. And I tell them, what if you couldn't think those thoughts? What if you could only think that I'm healthy, I am content, I am peaceful, I am strong, I am God, I am connected to God, all things are possible. And if that was, you had been conditioned to only think that way from the time that you were just a child, your whole physical world would change. Out of one side of my mouth, I say that you are not your body. And so therefore what you are is formless. I tell people often, the life inside of you is really God. That your body is, if you weigh your body when you're alive, and then instantly you die and life leaves your body and you weigh it, it weighs the same. So that your life, that whatever it is that leaves it, is weightless, it's formless. But we all emerge, on the other side of my mouth, I say that our bodies are our temples. These are the things that house our soul. And if these bodies are being deteriorated, or they're being poisoned, or they're being overfed, or they're being misused in some way, not exercised properly, not fed properly, then you don't have any place else to live. God leaves this physical domain, if you will, and you are incarnated here into a physical body, so that when you return to optimum health, when you return to perfect health, the place from which you originated. I mean, yesterday I was out walking, and I saw two people walking towards me, and they both were about maybe 125 pounds overweight at least. Rolls of fat rolling off of them, hard to walk, you could see over breath, their faces were flushed, red, and so on. And both of them were carrying from Subway a soft drink that must have had 32 ounces in it. It must have been a quart of either Coca-Cola or some kind of sugary drink. And I was just watching and watching them as they were walking, barely, having difficulty walking, but balancing this bag of food with this great big thing of pure sugar that they were pouring into their bodies. And I was thinking, if you only knew, if you could only sense inside of you that there is a place that is craving for you to just drink pure water, for you to rid yourself of this mental training that you have had, that you have to pour this kind of stuff into your body. Because we all come from a place of well-being. We come from a place of perfect health. And when you get back to that place of well-being, when you return, as I've quoted T.S. Eliot many times on the show, and said, we shall not cease from exploration, but at the end of all of our exploring will be to return to the place from which we originated, and to know it for the first time, to know it. I think he might have been talking about death there, that when we die, we'll return to the place. But I've said in Wishes Fulfilled that I believe that we can experience returning to that place without having to leave our bodies. And when you do return to it, when you begin to exercise yourself regularly, when you begin to watch the kind of food that you place into your body, when you begin to drink more water, when you begin to have healthier thoughts, there's a new clarity because you're now reconnected to your source. You're more aligned with God than you've ever been before. And this is the clarity that I feel. You're absolutely right. I feel it when I'm writing. I feel it in every moment of my life.